All right. Greetings to all of us. This is Philip here once again. So today something came up in the morning, and I feel like sharing with all of us. And I think it has to do with retirement, right? We all know that as we are strong and full of energy today, a time will come where we'll become old and weak, and also be very prone to a lot of disease and sicknesses. So it's important as young people we try to see how we can prepare for that stage of our lives. And I've realized that as young people, sometimes we are so much occupied by how we are going to live our youthful age, how we want to have fun and all that, and neglect the most important thing, and that's what happens to us when we finally grow old and weak and all that. And so today I realize that most government workers really have a very bad retirement. One is because they only rely solely on SNIT, and so they don't make any other plans aside the SNIT benefit that they are going to be getting when they grow old. So some of them, when they grow old, and one thing I've also realized is that because our salaries are very low in Ghana, SNIT is only supposed to be paying 60% of whatever you're going to be earning every month. So if you're earning 10,000, it means that when you grow old, you're going to be getting 60% of that. But imagine you are earning 2,000 Ghana cedis, and at the age where you are old, you are weak, and you are prone to falling sick, and you're going to be taking 60% of that. I've realized that most people will get into retirement and they don't have a place to sleep. They don't have enough to be able to take care of their health and all that. And so I was thinking about it this morning, and I think that there's some few things I think that as young people we should be able to have a look at, and that will help us to be able to plan our retirement meaningfully. And the first thing I think we should begin to look at is to focus so much on raising and educating our kids, right? And here I don't mean educating and training your kids so that you come to depend on them. What I'm trying to say is that once you're able to educate your kids and you raise responsible children, what it means is that at your retirement age, those children will not be a burden on you. We can all see around us, and we can see retirees who are taking care of their adult children. So imagine your child is having a wife and is not able to take care of himself, and so as a retiree, you still have to provide home and all that for your kid, and that's a burden to you as an old person. And so once you focus on building your kids, educating them, by the time you are going to retire, your kids are going to be very independent, and they will take that burden off you, and that will give you a lot of allowance to be able to plan your own retirement. Aside raising your kids properly, one other thing too is to begin to look at how you can invest as when you are still young like this. Some of us are able to earn very substantial amounts of money, but it's just that we are focused so much on what that money can do for us now without thinking about what will happen when we grow old. So what I'm going to suggest is that those who can run businesses, it's important you begin to plan a business that can run up to the time you are going to be old, right? If it's a business you can start right now and build it up to that time, it's important you start now. But the truth is that not all of us can run our own businesses. Not all of us have what it takes to run a business and manage a business. And so if you are that kind of person who don't have what it takes to run and manage a business for the long term, you should begin to look at some of the investment in the bank, even though that is not the best. Sometimes inflation can even take the interest they're going to be getting from the bank, but it is better than not doing anything at all. And so some of us can look at stocks, we can look at government treasury bills, we can look at fixed deposits in the banks. If you begin to save something small and it compounds, right, by the time you are old, you have something to fall on. That small thing, that small investment can grow to become something that can complement whatever SNIT is going to give you to make your retirement a meaningful one. Now, aside investing with the banks, there are also a lot of good insurance companies. In fact, there are a lot of bad ones too. And so you can do a lot of research and find a proper and a very good insurance company and begin to invest with that insurance company towards your retirement, right? There are people who have been able to, through insurance, they earn more than what SNIT is going to be giving them when they finally grow old. And so if you're able to find a proper insurance company and invest there as you're young, by the time you grow old, you realize that you have something that can supplement whatever Smith is going to be giving you. Now, aside that too, there is something we call residual income, right? Or passive income, as most people will call it. When you retire, you're supposed to be very weak, and there's a lot of things you can't do again, right? And so, as a young person, now you have energy, you should begin to make investments that will begin to bring you returns at your retirement age. So, for instance, you can begin to look at building properties. It can be residential, it can be commercial, and so you can build stores for rent. You can build rooms or houses for rent. So what happens is that by the time you are now going to grow old, you have people paying you rent from your property, and this can be very much that you can't even finish spending. And so there are people who build homes, there are others who build stores. So as they are old, the returns from those investment that they did in real estate is enough for them to depend on until the time that God will call them. There is also something I've realized that can be a very good source of income for the aged, and that has to do with investing in a school, right? An educational facility. So you realize that when you at this age, maybe you are 35, you are 40, if you start a school, and you have to have the passion for it first. So if you have the passion for education and you start your own school, by the time you are going to retire in 20 years time, we assume that you are 40 now, but in 20 years time, the school should be established enough for you to be able to eat the fruits of your labor, right? So imagine you start a school now, and in 20 years, you have from crèche up to junior high school. That should be enough for you to be able to depend on at your retirement age. And so the important thing I want all of us to leave this video with is to begin to think about our retirement. Sometimes you think it's too far away, but before you realize it is just here. And so it's important that we learn to prepare for it. You learn to, and one last thing I want to add also is like I said, when you are going to retire, the government SSNIT pays you 60% of your best salary, right? It means that if you're able to upgrade yourself, if you're able to educate yourself and you raise your income, it means that government will pay you more. So for instance, imagine by the time you retire, you are earning 50,000 Ghana cedis a month, and government is supposed to pay you 60% of that. That will be quite some money for you to depend on as an old person. And so let's be mindful, let's begin to prepare for it, because it will surely come, so that when it comes, it won't be a burden to your family and to your friends. Thank you very much.